All right, so Randy Kastner, welcome to the show. Randy, you had been a promoter for many concerts. How did you get into promoting shows?
Around 2008, I re-entered our local scene after a divorce, and I got tired of seeing the same three bands. So I just decided to start bringing in Chicago bands and whatnot, and slowly and surely, it kind of morphed into big bands, you know, the Origins, the Sepulturas, Destruction, Metal Church, Possessed. I don't know, 14 years ago, and now it's crazier.
Can you be specific as to what area you promote shows at?
Specifically Madison, Wisconsin, and Milwaukee. I've been doing a lot more in Madison lately because, well, the venue out there is way cooler. It's set up great. And the support has been better in Madison, Wisconsin than it has been in Milwaukee for like the last, well, since maybe like 8 months ago. But sometimes shows are really hit and miss. At least in Madison, I have a fighting chance to break even on anything I do.
Mm-hmm. So
As you know,
how did you progress from doing like a local Chicago band to bringing a national act?
well, I think Waco Jesus was my first like name band maybe in 2009. And then people just hear about you, and you know, you go for a few things like Dying Fetus one year and Exhumed like maybe 8-9 years ago, and then just kept coming and kept coming. And now I still gotta like, after 14 years, I still gotta throw out feelers sometimes because some agencies just, even though I've done this for a long time, they don't know you. So you know they gotta build that trust. But I've worked with a few agencies for a while and they know me, so I get some gigs up here. But the market I'm in, we get skipped a lot because things go from Chicago to Minneapolis a lot, radius clauses, the amount of money, the amount of people that they're looking to get at the show, you know, and there's a lot of different factors. I think if I lived in a bigger, better market, I'd get a lot more opportunities. But well, you know, it is what it is for this area.
In many ways, that's kind of perfect because you're bringing in bands to a market that's starving for that type of music.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure without myself and a few others, this place would have nothing besides stuff at the rave.
Yeah. Not only are you promoting shows, but you created a metal fest. Tell me about that.
Well, actually, this is my second metal fest. 10 years ago, I started a thing called the NYDM Spring Bash with a bunch of death metal bands. Local bands pretty much. Putrid Pile was the headliner, and that slowly morphed into something bigger. I had Artillery here at one point, Deceased, Possessed, Whiplash, November's Doom, Cyanide, Cardiac Arrest. Geez, you name it, I've had them here, you know.
What does it take to put on a metal fest or event like that?
Time and money, a lot of time and a lot of money. And patience, which I'm not really the greatest at, but after a while you get used to it. It's like your regular job. After a while, you know what you got to do, so you just do it. This year, though, with the new creation of this new metal fest, I was kind of done with all this in 2019, but then I went to the Keep It True Fest in Germany and had the opportunity to book Satan from the UK. So I said, well, okay, that's a bucket list band. I've seen them before. That would be cool. So I decided to create a new fest, and I played with a couple names like Keeper of the Flame, which actually is a festival in Mexico now. And I came up with Blades of Steel from the Blades of Steel song off the first Satan record. And well, they're not on the bill this year, but COVID kind of did a number on that, the original plan. But I hope to maybe down the road get them on this fest if it lasts.
Well, their new album certainly smokes.
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine.
Yeah. Now, not only is it a metal fest, it's a multi-day event. How does that work?
Well, I started with one day and it just kind of grew into 2 days and it grew into 3 days. And at one point I had it 4 days in 2018. That was pretty good. Surathon Gold played, Nasty Savage, Hellstar, Abattoir, Power Mad, you name it, they were all here. Faith or Fear from the East Coast. I don't even know, man. It was like a lot of bands. Atrophy, That, Morbid Saint. Oh, there was a lot. It was a pretty stacked lineup, but I thought that it got to be too much and maybe that would burn people out and maybe I wouldn't get enough. Maybe I wouldn't get enough support. So I kind of peeled it back to 3 days, and I think 3 days is the magic number here. We get a decent amount of 3-day people that come all 3 days, and then you get your various single-day people, and it just kind of seems to work. So I guess that's what we're going to stick with for now.
Over the years, what were some of your favorite performances that you booked?
Well, let's see, a Voivod. I did Voivod show in 2016. That's been my biggest show as far as what I really wanted to do. Metal Church played here with Mike Howe 5 years ago. Who else has played here? I had Crowbar here 7 years ago. Destruction with Sepultura maybe 8 years ago. I don't know. I like them all in different ways. When Evil Steel played here 7 years ago, that was kind of one of those goosebump moments. Having a classic band from the '80s, cult metal band. I don't know. I really don't have time to watch everybody, but it's really nice to see the fan base enjoy themselves, and that's more the goal now. Making other people happy, not so much me. If I want to see bands I want to see, I'll just go and see them. But a lot of people have said I've given them bucket list bands, so I guess that's good.
That makes sense. And speaking of that, how do you go about picking which acts to include in one of your festivals or shows?
Well, typically I'll have a list of 5 or 6 bands that I'm interested in bringing. And if I can make a deal, I make a deal. But a lot of times when you set up a plan of what you want, you don't really get everything you want. And sometimes you have to take a different route and think of something else and think of something different, because with so many metal festivals lately, I like to keep mine unique and try to have bands that are not playing everybody else's fest in order to have a decent draw. It seems to me that a lot of the festivals currently going on all have the same bands all the time, and I really don't want to be like everybody else. So I just I make an audible here and there when things don't work out my way, or I can't afford, or I can't get somebody to come and play. I think of something different.
At what point did you realize that you wanted something special here?
I don't know, probably 7 years ago when I got Jeff Becerra and Possessed to come out here and play. They hadn't played Milwaukee in 28 years, when they were here in '86 with Dark Angel. And the attendance started to go up, and more people started to come. And it's got its own little following. I mean, we'll never be big like Maryland Death Fest or anything like that, but the people who come to my festival are the diehards. A lot of Chicago diehards and Midwest, and we've had even guys come on a train, take 4 days to get here. So I don't know, the real crazies come out, I guess.
That's a good thing. You want to keep that going.
I'll try to.
If there are any bands watching and they wanted to play one of your festivals, how could they get in touch with you?
They could email me at www.rkmetalpromotions.com. There should be a message link in there. I've updated the website, or they can just find me on Facebook. And, I have ideas in my head of what I want to do, but everybody's free to submit or, hit me up. It doesn't mean I'll book you, and it's not impersonal. It's just sometimes you have an idea of what you want to do, and sometimes it may not be this year, but it could be 2 years from now that a certain band that, hit me up, then, maybe it'll work out.
Finally, not only are you a promoter, but you're still a fan. I mean, we're friends on Facebook, and I see you post. You still get excited about records that you get. What are some things that you've been excited about listening-wise?
Well, I'm waiting for the Satan record to get here.
It'll be worth the wait.
That's next on my list. I order a lot of stuff from various distros, whether you're Europe or local Midwest guys or Gary Schaefer out in Pennsylvania. It just whatever I'm feeling at the time. But Cyclone, Inferior to None, was my last record I just got, and I'm hoping to play it before I go set up the fest tomorrow.
Thank you for speaking to me, and keep up doing great things.
No, thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. This has pretty much been a DIY thing forever, and we never really get many interviews or anybody interested in giving us an opportunity to promote, but we'll take what we can get, and hopefully we make friends with people along the way.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Right on. Thank you.